Always volunteer. That was the question.
Oh, that
Always
volunteering.
volunteer. Because if you do that, then when something good happens, they'll pick you rather than leave you behind. And that happened to me in the Air Force, because one particular time we had the flight of Vulcans going over to the United States
Yep.
for some games.
Right.
And
War games.
War games.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was to test out really the radar results of this testing.
Yep.
And I had thought about this statement whereby, volunteer for everything. And once this came up for us to go to the US,
Yep.
I noticed my name wasn't on the list. And so I got hold of the flight lieutenant or whatever his name was and said, look, I've been trained specifically to work on Vulcans. How come I'm not going to the United States? And of course he looked at his bed and said, yep, you're going to States. And I think that was purely because I'd volunteered, for something, and they picked me out after. So anyway, that was that.
That was the reason why you told us, me and Peter, to volunteer for everything. Maybe it was just a different time, and you were very specific about you were pretty unique. Late in your life, probably in your 60s, you were retired or nearly retired by then. You started flying and getting your pilot license and spending any inheritance that us children may one day get by spending on flying license. Tell us about your flying career, as it were.
I was quite happy in retirement, not doing a great deal apart from playing golf. And then something clicked in my mind, and it said to me, have a go at flying.
You know what it was?
No.
You recall? It's because you were on the computer and you got Flight Simulator. You got one of the first Microsoft Flight Simulators, probably 95 or something like that.
Yeah.
And you obviously, I'll have a go at this game, and you had a joystick, and I think that perked your interest up, and I think you said to me at the time, well, I can get this Cessna flying a circuit, because you could type in, I want to do a circuit at Jandakot, and I think you said, well, I can go down to the Aero Club and I want to see if it's similar, and that, for me, that's my recollection of what perked your interest again.
It's probably true. I don't have an exact memory of starting flying.
That's why I'm here, to remind you of this stuff.
All I do remember is that, okay, I went down to Jandakot, and I spoke with this blonde girl, and I said, I've decided I'd like to learn to fly. And she said, who's your instructor? And I said, well, I thought you was taking that into consideration, the fact that you're the instructor and I do what you tell me.
I'm the student.
And she said, well, had nobody talked to you yet? I said, no. Anyway, so she took me around to one of the offices and started drawing up tail fin and flaps and things like this. And she had a talk with me about how a plane flies and this, that and the other. And she said, you know all this, what are you doing here?
Oh, right.
And I said, it's just that I'm starting and I don't know the ropes, so I need to be guided. And that was when I started flying.
And you eventually got your private pilot license. You didn't get it first go though, did it? You failed your first test, I recall.
No.
Yeah,
no.
you didn't got it the second time. You had to go back the next day.
Not true.
Oh, no.
Not to my knowledge. And look, I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm
Anyway.
not sure. I know there is one thing that did happen where I had to do it the next day, but it was on the navigation portion of the flight, which was way down the line, and that was, I had to go across Perth Approach and then go down south to Dumbleyoung or something like that. And at the beginning, I fluffed the turn to wherever we were going, and I had to go back and do it again. So that must be the one that you're talking about.
So probably another 100 hours, and then you decided you want to fly at night, and you got your night rating as well, didn't you?
You know more than I do. Yeah. Not much to say about flying.
Did you prefer to fly at night or day?
Otherwise, I enjoyed flying at night better than in the daytime.
Not as bumpy?
And not as bumpy, but what it was the lights were twinkling, and down below was flat and nothing sort of thing. So that helped me along. But
do you remember what other ratings you got? Do you remember doing aerobatics?
Yeah, do aerobatics. That was
Crazy?
Well, yeah. I mean, as I said to the instructor, I said, I don't really think this is for me, but I wanted to do it while I'm involved with aeroplanes. He was a big guy.
And we had a fixed-wing aeroplane, and you ended up being able to hire that particular aeroplane, and you flew you flew all the family. The Bonanza.
Bonanza, that's right.
And you flew many of guests and
nice plane, though.
Yeah, and you flew Roy and Ken and Adam and Peter and I and many a guest, everyone.
Yeah.
So I used to see quite often at work.
From Mount Lawley came down and played. One of them paid me.
There you go. I'm sure that's illegal, but anyway.
Yeah.
And you said, "Oh, okay. Well, I'll plan a flight to there." And Adam and myself and you we trundled on the hottest day in
That's
Perth,
right.
and
we did a bumpy landing.
Bumpy landing. That's an understatement.
Well, I went again to Wave Rock.
Yeah.
And I took Hiker. You never met Hiker.
Yeah, I've met Hiker.
Oh, took Hiker and Emma. Emma was one of June's.
Right. Yeah.
Not
niece or something, or
yeah.
Grandkids it would have been.
And of course we got overhead sort of thing, and didn't think I could find it. I was looking around and I couldn't find it. So I said to the girls that now this is a typical situation whereby you've got to find out where you've gone wrong. You want to go to Wave Rock, are you there or what? And so I said, this is what I would do. Here is the town of
Hyden.
Hyden,
yeah.
I said, this is 18 inches or whatever. This is off to another place. And I said, if you take the triangular one from there and you travel at 80 knots for 4 minutes or whatever it thing, I said, you'll come to where you should be. So, of course, I headed for Hyden or where I was needed to go.
Yep.
And as I reached the point I'd been flying for, up I come out, and there was
the
Wave
airport.
Rock. Yeah.
The airport. And I remember Wave Rock being a grave disappointment, really. It's very small.
That's why I didn't go walking around with them.
No, because it's a million flies there, I remember. You'd achieve what you'd wanted to achieve. And
it was an expensive fun because each year, as when I came for licensing, I had to go and get a medical,
yeah,
which was a stress echo,
yeah,
at about $400 a pop sort of thing.
Yeah. So it was, but to achieve a pilot license at that age and fly safely as you did for all those years, it's quite an achievement, and I was always chuffed to see you down at work and say a quick hello, and you know, they're good memories for me. What's it been like for you being a granddad, and what do you think about that?
I have to be honest on this one. I'm not a very good grandfather
Why?
because I can't be bothered. No, seriously, my father was never a person to help. I mean, he went to work and worked a lot, but it was only work and was never anything in relation to the home. And I think had he been more soft with me and things like that, maybe I would be different today. But I am very conscious of the fact that I'm not a very good grandfather. I hate it because it's true.
But I think you're being hard on yourself. I don't. Well, they're your words, and I don't want to put words in your mouth. But that's not my experience. I think my experience is not that you can't be bothered. I think that you didn't grow up necessarily getting maybe a lot of affection from your dad, or open affection.
None.
So none, yeah. Your mum, of course, would have, I'm sure, but a different time. And of course, you left home early, so you were pretty much, it was you. So I think you're being a bit hard on yourself. I think it's not that you couldn't be bothered. Maybe you think you don't know how. But
maybe a too strong a word, but
yeah, it surprised me you say that. I think you might have been a bit hard on yourself.
Yeah, well, as I say, I feel it a lot, and know that really I couldn't jump out and start the ball rolling or anything like that. Those days have gone by, and I know now that I miss some of those days, but they're gone. And it's unfortunate, something that happens like that.
Fair to say you're not a person who easily shows their emotion.
True.
I don't think I've ever seen you cry. I don't think I've ever seen you cry, but maybe, not that, maybe I haven't been around when you've been upset.
That in itself is not crying, but
I don't think I've ever seen you being visibly upset about anything.
yeah.
I always detect that you have no degree of melancholy. I might say, oh, I remember that, or something like that, and I think of it in a wistful sort of thing, and maybe because I'm now 50, and whatever, and I know Roy is the same. When I've had the pleasure of being with Roy, he of course hasn't had the luxury of spending as much time with you as he would have liked. I'm sure I thought this might take an hour or so, but it's hard to
I'll scribble all over your book, shall I, while we wait? No. What was it that overcame you just then? You talked about Laura to Barbara.
No, I guess no one's on this earth forever.
Sorry?
Everyone dies, You're 82, and one day you're not going to be with us. And that's why I've done this, so we can remember you.
Oh, well, I'm sure it will. I mean, you go to anybody now, and you could pick out a subject that's involved very quickly. So, you know, I can see you on your knees at home going through this, much the same as you're doing with the camera side of it.
Yeah, I do it because we want to remember you, and we, you know, and recently, you know, you've I mean, you're getting on top of it with Linda's incredible help and support with, you know, your memory fading. Of course, it's fantastic because 6 months ago, you know, people are physically there, and you're physically as fit as you've ever been.
Yeah.
And yet, if your mind faded, you know, that's the long, as they say, the long goodbye, and it's almost like the medication is been a godsend, because now to sit here with you for 2 hours and surprise me with some of the things you've spoken about, it warms my heart. And of course tonight I've got to hop on a plane and fly to the other side of the country, and a small part of me will say, will I ever see you again?
Do you see...
Dad, thank you for sitting here, and it's been fantastic.
I've enjoyed it.
And
I know there's been a lot of hesitation and things like that, but it has to wind a bit quicker than it should do.
Yeah.
And it's, yeah.
all
But
right.
no, I enjoyed that. It's been not only interesting in what's in there, but just the fact that this is what you're doing, and this is something for you later on.
It's actually, I said to Deb and Adam and the girls yesterday, it's actually not for me, it's for, and many of us have heard a lot of these stories, but it will be for our grandkids and their kids, you know.
Yeah.
Who was that Ken Gibson? What was he like?
Yeah.
Because all too often, you know, we all regret, as you probably did, I wish I'd asked so-and-so that, and I wish and of course this could be a mini-series because you've lived a full life, and you've been fortunate, but you've made your own fortune and luck, and you've travelled the world and had a lot of friends.
I've really enjoyed. It's been a little hard for people involved, such as Linda, but I've enjoyed doing it. I learned a lot of various, not only cultures, but technicalities and that.
Yeah.
It was, I don't think anybody would have done better than what I have in their whole lifetime.
Well, a young boy, the youngest of 3 siblings, growing through the war, living to 82, having the travels you've done, it's almost a boy's own story, really, isn't it? Yeah. All right, we'll leave it there. Thank you.
Go to the loo. I've been holding it back.
Oh, we should have said. We could have stopped.
Yeah.